Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And that, I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to fix it, and I run it back coach didn't take the biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. I almost said Monday. It's a beautiful Thursday morning, and we're live, local, and ready to get things rolling right here on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9, 1230 a.m. WTBC. I want to invite you to get in on the conversation at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. That's the Empowerment Strategies and Solutions hotline. And we also invite you to join us over on the Facebook page. If you are not able to join us on the phone line, you can always interact with us there with your thoughts, your comments, your questions, etc. You're able to interact with us there as well. So look forward to it being a great day. And remember that this is a day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. We will be a radio show / therapy session for the Alabama faithful, as Alabama's debacle in the bowl game. What a some ways fitting end to up and down season. But I as I watched that game, there was some consistencies in that game that were consistent all year. I posed a question at the end of the season, and a lot of people didn't understand what I was trying to communicate. And my question was the following. My question was, did this 2024 Alabama team have a road problem or an underdog problem? And the question was simply this: did this Alabama team have trouble when they went on the road, or did they have problems playing against inferior opponents? Okay. And both of those happened on each one of our losses. And we were 1-3 away from Bryant Denny in terms of underdogs. 0-3, I'm sorry, against underdogs on the road. But we beat Wisconsin on the road. We beat LSU on the road. So does this team have a problem with underdogs and the inability to prepare for a lesser opponent and focus when they are perceived to be the favorite? And if that's the case, was that the players or is that coaching and the ability to get them ready? So we'll talk about that. That'll be kind of a true-false question there. We'll have a true-false session. We're going to bring back some old segments we used to do, one of them being true-false. Also, as I watched the games yesterday, I saw 3 players, and not even looking, just 3 guys that I said, wow, if those 3 guys, because everybody talks about how great in the shape Nick Saban left, how talented Nick Saban left this team. Guys, it's not what we thought it was. And I'm one of those. I'm one of those that thought there was more in the cupboard. But give me Bond, give me Holden, give me Downs, and I feel better about at least a couple of the losses we had, right? Yeah. And then, of course, the quarterback situation in Alabama. I have no answer for Jalen Milroe. I have no defense for Jalen Milroe's performance Tuesday. I have none. I won't even try to defend that. But I also have no defense for this O-line, for the wide receivers, for the play calling. And why did Ty Simpson not play? True, false? X, let you guys think on this. True, false? Did Ty Simpson not play because they're not sold on Ty Simpson being the guy? Or did Ty Simpson not play because they want to give, when they start this QB competition in the offseason, do they want to not have film on Ty Simpson out there that everybody can refer back to and they can make the decision on what they see in practice between these guys? True, false? Was this staff not going to put themselves in a position where they have to try to defend something when they may feel away? I don't know. This just type of stuff to go through my head, man. I just don't know. And then last but not least, I have to say, praying for those who are down in New Orleans, those who live there, those who lost their life, those who are injured, and those who are impacted by the craziness all the way from my daughter, your sister, with the Georgia Bulldogs playing a prayer protection over them. This is nerve-wracking in some ways, but praying for them, praying for all of those who may have to, even it's not as big a deal, but who plan to be at that game and will not be able to attend because of it being pushed off. And all of those things, lots going on, but we lift those guys up in prayer. But if Georgia should win, true, false, the committee and the college football playoffs will be a success because you'll have 2 Big Ten teams and 2 SEC teams battling it out in a potential Big Ten matchup and a potential SEC matchup. all SEC, all Big Ten. It's a lot, man. But the only team that's left in the playoffs, X, at this point, when people talk about you shouldn't lose to poor teams, the only one that was not upset by an unranked team and an underdog is Texas. Ohio State got beat by an unranked Michigan team. Georgia got beat by an unranked Kentucky team. Right? Penn State.
Kentucky. They had a close game against Kentucky. They beat Kentucky, remember?
I'm sorry. They got beat by that's right. Georgia didn't. They got beat by they should have been beat by Kentucky.
Yeah.
But each
But they lost to an underdog.
Huh?
They lost to an underdog.
Yeah. Twice, I think. But my point is, and then of course, it's scary to watch, X.
Yeah,
this Ohio State team, I said yesterday they should fire Chase Xavier. They should fire Ryan Day for losing to Michigan.
Yeah.
With that team, do what, Chase?
I agree with you.
You had to absolutely blow your team up for that team to lose to Michigan. You had to have changed everything. And someone said, well, Michigan beat us. I said, and we played horrible and still had a chance to beat them. Think about how bad Alabama played. In Alabama, X, I'm going to leave it. Jalen played horrible. And this team, my defense played great, except for when they brought in
Orgy.
Why did we stand on pass defense? They threw the ball down the field one time, and
they got intercepted
it, and we were still in a pass defense. But even with that said, how do you have Jalen Milroe inside the 15-yard line, and you do not
throw it 4 times?
One time, huh?
And you throw it 4 times?
Not just throw it. You throw it straight drop back. I toss it to you, man. I'm sorry. I'm fired up, but
no. Hey, look, I've been the biggest Jalen supporter for 2 years. Tuesday was bad. It was absolutely bad. You can throw in several factors with it. The weather, the offensive line, the play calling. Because I went back and looked. You know how many times our running backs ran the ball? Did you see that? 12. 12 times. I don't understand. I don't understand this team. I don't understand this coaching staff. I don't understand the philosophy. Maybe things need to get blown up, but I think the biggest thing that you said, Alabama fans, and I was one of them, just like you, that said, man, this team still has a lot. It does. This team did have a lot, but it was immature and inexperienced. That's what the talent on this team was this year. And when you, like you said, the bomb, 81% of this offense left. Jalen was the entire offense that we had back, and we had moments that you could tell, right? He didn't feel like he had anybody else to rely on, and I think that's what caused certain situations. Now, Landon Law, he made a point. He said, look at Ryan's face at one point. You can make that claim, but I'll just wrap it up with this before we get the break. You can say Ryan looked at Jalen like, oh my God, about one throw. But I can also tell you a lot of times down the stretch this year where Jalen threw a pretty ball that hit Ryan in the hands that ended up on the ground. So this wasn't a all Jalen problem throughout the season. This was an Alabama team being inexperienced, coaching staff change, whatever you want to call it. This Alabama team is not a Nick Saban Alabama team from years past, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and we'll keep that conversation going. Like I said, I will make it plain. I have no defense for the way Jalen played, but I was communicating with someone, and they said, Jalen may be the worst quarterback in the last 20 years. He definitely, performed as the worst quarterback, not necessarily talent-wise, but worst performance this year. I can't say that about last year. This year of any quarterback that Alabama's had under Nick Saban. But I would also say this is the worst offensive line performance, barring maybe last year. It was the worst offensive group from a wide receiver standpoint, and potentially running.
Well, he might end up being the worst quarterback of the Kalen DeBoer era, but he's not the worst quarterback of the Nick Saban era. Yes, he came in up under Saban, but he performed at a level that had him finish number 6 at the Heisman last year, up under Nick Saban. So let's remember that. Up under the Saban era, he's not the worst quarterback, talent-wise or performance on the field-wise. He had 35 touchdowns last year with under 10 turnovers.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll keep it going. The phone lines are open. You can call up, argue, make a suggestion, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to say. And we'll let you have your piece. But the college football playoffs almost set. Pulling for the dogs tonight. We'll talk about that. Got a little true false players that Bama missed this year. 3 guys, Simpson, why he's not played, why they didn't put him in. Is there a reason for that? Oh, man. Yeah, we'll be back on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you on this second day of January of 2025. We're moving smooth across the Tuscaloosa freeways and side streets. It's quiet outside right now. We do have the usual construction zones on east and westbound 2059 between Joe Malisham and 69, not bothering you not one iota. 2059 westbound at Tuscaloosa Coaling. Also watch out for that road work. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by KFC. 'Tis the season to fill your table and feed the whole family with KFC's Festive Feast. Get 6 original recipe tenders, 6 pieces of classic fried chicken, 2 sides, and 3 sauces for just $25.99.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Got timberland in West Alabama or East Mississippi? North River Timber Company has you covered. Since 2011, Courtney White, a registered forester, along with his expert team, have been managing timberland and harvesting timber across 4 West Alabama counties. They offer comprehensive timber management plans, reforestation services, and appraisals. Courtney White says timber is like money in the bank. Don't let your investment go unrealized. Call North River Timber Company today. Email them at northrivertimberco@gmail.com or call 205-242-5127.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-383-7733. That's 800-383-7733. 800-383-7733.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Mostly sunny and cool today. The high for this afternoon around 52. Fair tonight, the low 32. For tomorrow and Saturday, a good supply of sunshine both days. The high tomorrow 52. Colder on Saturday, the high at 47. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 31 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome again to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Powered by Box Eye Care. It's a Thursday edition of the program. We're really not talking recruiting today, which we normally do on today. Got a little true false going real quick before we get to a couple calls. Mark Andrews says the SEC is overrated this year. True false? I guess that's a good true false question. X, what's your thoughts really quick?
I don't know, because we could still end up with the 2 SEC team national championship.
Yeah, and we still will end up with right now. The SEC's lost what, 5 games, something like that. So it'll be interesting to see. The Big Ten, I don't know if SEC is overrated, underrated. I still don't know how good Texas is. I still don't know. Texas seemed like they were far superior talent to that Arizona State team, but they just couldn't finish the job. And then that's my new favorite player. I wish I got to watch that guy all year. Old Scatterboo. He played with the heart I love to see. That's a football player right there, baby. We need some of that. We need some of that in Crimson jersey. But anyway, we got a lot we're going to talk about over the off season. Jason Rutledge said, "Nah, Jalen doesn't play well against a defense with a pulse. UGA game was an anomaly, or they are not that good." And I would say he hasn't played great against the teams that, but that's not all our losses. Tennessee, why are you throwing the ball 45 times? And let me say this, I'm not going to justify. I told you, if you just told me, I can't justify Jalen's performance. But I would also say that our offensive line doesn't play. Our tackles are
turnstiles.
Oh, wow. I'm
They're
not
turnstiles.
Huh? Yeah, I mean,
they're turnstiles. And the 2 guys that ended up being our tackles for most of the year, Proctor got his butt whooped early. Then then his shoulder, I guess, finally gave out on him. And they moved Pritchett, and Pritchett was getting whooped on the right side. They put Pritchett on the left side, and he was getting whooped still. Like I said, Jalen played bad. Jalen had a bad game.
Yeah.
The offensive line did not help that.
Nor did the play calling. All right. Hey, listen. And I'm getting ready to bring Robert in, and I want to set Robert up. If you have a team that's getting pressure on you, since Little League, what do? You run a screen. When did we run a screen? We waited till the last drive.
And with 25 yards on it.
Robert, you're in with Martin and Xavier on the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions Hotline. What's on your mind, sir? Happy New Year, by the way.
Same to you, buddy. Yeah, thanks for the setup. Yeah, you're right, especially like you said we were in the red zone or about to score, and we had time to run the ball, and we didn't run a single run play. And like you said, the screen passes early on. We weren't running screen passes all year. I mean, that's just always been ridiculous on that one. So yeah, the OCs definitely has a lot of questions. The boy has lost his goodwill with the Alabama fans. You don't notice now, dude. Sorry, that's how it goes. You don't notice. It was nice and goodwill, good talk on the off season last year. You're not going to get that kind of talk this year. It's going to be skeptical eye. We're going to have to see improvement. And if we don't see it, dude, the hot seat will be something we had experience in Alabama. And goodness gracious, when last time we talked hot seat and an Alabama coach. It's almost like those. I mean, we've forgotten those two sentences could be used where it could be used in the same sentence now. But it will be on the table next year. I'm sorry, that's how it goes. But I'll give you, like you said, it wasn't his team. We'll see next season when you get more of your players. And normally coaches get 3 years for that. But it was so bad. I think you're only going to get one more season with before we want to see improvement, and that'll be next year.
Was it that bad, Robert?
Oh, it's so below the standard till it was. I mean, the teams we lost to is a trouble. Like Spike brought up a stat that Du Bois lost to more unranked teams in his first year than Nick Saban. And it took Nick Saban almost 15, 17 years to lose to that many unranked teams in a single season.
Saban didn't. We had not lost to an unranked team
since his first year.
So it's been 16 years, and we lost to 3 this year. So that
we weren't that, and our teams weren't that bad. I mean, our team wasn't that bad that we should be losing to unranked. That's many unranked teams in the season. It was a bad year.
But if you stop and pause, just food for thought. If you stop and pause, outside of the Oklahoma game, we lost. Outside of the Oklahoma game, we lost all of our games by one score.
And it's the way we lost them.
I think
you all point out the problem.
I agree.
And I would tell you.
No, I agree with you. I just throwing it out for Alabama fans because there's a lot of doom and gloom. 3 of our 4 losses were 5 points, 7 points, 6 points.
Right, you're right. That means corrected. But it's we're losing 5 points, 6 points, 7 points to Tennessee, to Georgia, to those teams. I got you. And we're losing a good team. It's when we're losing to not Oklahoma, a bad Oklahoma team, not to Michigan, a bad Michigan team. It's a team that we should not be losing to, that we should mop the floor up with. We've mopped the floor up with much better teams. But again, to Kellen DeBoer and to what you guys were saying earlier.
Here's the scary part about the Michigan loss. We had a long time to prepare for that game, and they were down 5 top 3 rounds draft picks, 3 on defense and 2 on offense, guys who will be drafted on Sunday. Now, we played really bad and could have beat that bad Michigan team, but the fact that we handed them the game. Their longest drive was 40 yards, and they beat us. I mean, that's the part.
That shouldn't have happened.
That's the part that makes
it Alabama. But we lose to Sean Watson playing out of his mind. We lose to South Carolina with the quarterbacks playing out of their mind. Texas A&M with their teams playing out of their mind. We don't lose to teams playing mediocre, and you still went to Oklahoma. Same as the result. You're playing mediocre. You're not putting up eye-popping stats. You're just putting up average to below average stats, and you still managed to win the game against Alabama?
Well, excuse me. If you want to go by that definition, Diego Pavia played out of his mind.
That's why I didn't mention
Jackson Arnold, even though it wasn't a ton of passing yards, he played out of his mind.
I will say this.
2 of our losses that Gabe played out of it.
Hey, Robert, I will say this. Until Saturday, it's questionable whether Pavia had his best game against us, Arnold had his best game against us, and Nico had his best second half against us. That's still questionable. But to your point, that those teams could have played their best games in years past, and we would have won by 3 touchdowns. The quality of the teams that I just named, that Tennessee team that beat us in years past, we would have beat that team by 2 scores. That Vanderbilt team that beat us, we'd have beat them by 5 scores. That Oklahoma team, even with them playing the way they did, because you have to look at it, we got virtually no offensive support in any of those games except for Vanderbilt. You scored 35 against Vanderbilt, you're supposed to win. But anyway.
And that puts the ball on notice as well. Real quick before I go to your other point, did you ask if the SEC, that you guys hesitated, the SEC, and I understand why you hesitated. I'm in the camp of, yes, the SEC has declined. College football as a whole has declined, mainly because, as we've seen, there's no great outstanding team. There aren't 2, 3 great outstanding teams that are unbeatable in college football this season. Now that's that could be a good thing and a bad thing. It makes it unpredictable. But the whole sport is down. The SEC has come down, and the SEC is no longer head and shoulders better than the rest of the college football. That's college football.
Let me ask you this, Robert. Let me ask you this. Who's feeling worse, though? Is the Alabama team, Alabama fans that got beat by 3 or 4 games this year, regardless, we lost 4 games this year. Are we feeling worse right now, or is the Oregon team that went undefeated that got boat raced, and Ohio State could have put up 60 on those guys? Which fan base feels worse today?
That's a coin flip, but I still think it's us.
Shoot, I'd say Oregon.
Listen.
No, I'm not so.
It's got to be Oregon.
I know, but I guess you're right. They become believers, and at the club point, they become believers. They thought they had it, so maybe Oregon. You might be right, but just my opinion. I think it's us still. But I understand what you're saying there.
Last question, Robert, as I let you go. Listen, I mean that was crazy watching that. Chip Kelly had I don't know if he had a bone to pick or axe to grind, whatever they want to call it, but that dude called a game yesterday in that first half as good a game as I've ever seen an offensive coordinator call. I mean and they executed it, but they had Oregon running like, I mean, they didn't have a clue where it was coming from, man. It was crazy to watch. And if that team doesn't win a national title, which I'm hoping they don't, I'm pulling for Georgia because of my daughter. And I guess I am more of an SEC guy than I thought I was. Scatterboo is now my favorite player, maybe potentially of all time, because he reminded me of my childhood. Earl Campbell, Franco Harris, I'm going back into the archives, Robert, with those guys, but those guys that made you regret Christian Okoye, you did not want to tackle those guys by the end of the game.
Earl Campbell, don't forget Earl. Don't forget Earl Campbell.
That's who I started with. Earl, that's who I modeled my running style after Earl Campbell. So, yeah. Woo! I love that.
For all those folks who claim they don't root for SEC teams in these bowl games because it doesn't matter, hey, this is why it does matter. If we need the SEC to win more, and otherwise, because right now we got exposed, and we're not going to get the benefit of the doubt anymore in the SEC. So,
unless if we win it all, we'll still get the benefit of the doubt. But we definitely cannot afford for Ole Miss to lose.
No.
All right, guys.
Because I'll let you go, but all right, we'll be back on the other side. If Ole Miss loses, we would not be able to argue anything, man. So
no, we will not.
We'll be back on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you on this second day in January of 2025. We're moving smooth across the Tuscaloosa freeways and side streets. It's quiet outside right now. We do have the usual construction zones on east and westbound 2059 between Joe Malisham and 69, not bothering you not one iota. 2059 westbound at Tuscaloosa Coaling. Also watch out for that road work. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
Hi, this is Gene Poole. And this is John Poole. At Hudson Poole Fine Jewelers, being locally owned means more than just business. It means cherishing the relationships we've built and the trust you place in us. We consider it a privilege to be a part of your life's significant occasions, and thank you for the opportunity to help you select that perfect piece for your engagement, anniversary, or birthday. Come experience the difference of shopping local. Visit Hudson Poole Fine Jewelers, downtown Tuscaloosa, or at hudsonpoole.com.
Dixie Battery Supply takes care of all of your battery needs. Find the commercial batteries you're after and never feel powerless again. Come check out our Northport and Tuscaloosa locations or call us at 205-758-9190. And once again, power up all your devices by using Dixie Battery Supply, DixieBatterySupply.com. They offer reconditioned batteries starting at $39.99, and you'll find all the batteries you need. And don't forget to ask us about our golf carts. That's DixieBatterySupply.com.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you receiving unemployment? Your benefits could be at risk. Here's how you can protect yourself and your benefits. Never respond to mail notifying you of a false claim in your name. Never answer a text message asking you to verify your account. And only respond to official Alabama Department of Labor's social media pages. Report fraud at labor.alabama.gov/fraud. Brought to you by the Alabama Department of Labor, ABA, and the station. The Alabama Department of Labor is an equal opportunity employer program. Auxiliary aids and services available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Dial 711 for TTY accessibility.
Visit the pharmacy at Midtown. That's the pharmacy at midtown.com. TJ and his team are looking for the opportunity to provide you with great services, including compound, home delivery, and a whole lot more. If you're looking for a great pharmacy that'll take care of all of your needs, including wellness classes, including health and more, that's the pharmacy at Midtown. Call them at 205-579-9933. If you're looking for a great pharmacy, you need to try the pharmacy at Midtown. That's the pharmacy at Midtown, pharmacy at midtown.com.
Some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a huge inheritance. But a phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard for a new one on us. Just trade in any phone from our top brands with select unlimited plans. $829.99 purchase with new smartphone line on select unlimited plans. Minimum $90 per month with auto pay plus taxes and fees for 36 months required. Plus $830 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Trade-in terms apply. Payoff phone requires smartphone purchase and port in with new smartphone line on select plan. Must provide most recent bill showing payoff amount of eligible phone. Additional terms apply.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. I want to invite you to get in on the conversation once again on the Empowerment Strategies and Solutions Hotline, Empowerment Strategies and Solutions. Visit empowermentstrategy.com. That's empowerment starting with the letter empowermentstrategy.com. We speak, we coach, we train, we assess behavior, and we love to work with you and your company to get you on the right page to grow in the 2025 year and season to get better. Couple comments really quick. Jason Rutledge talking about the targeting call on Texas. I thought both would have been called targeting, but it was a face mask to face mask hit against Texas. And to me, the Isaiah Bond wasn't as vicious a hit, but it was also targeting too. When the Arizona player, he left his feet, hit his shoulder pads, hit Isaiah in the chin. and he did more of the what they call symbols or symptoms or whatever they call it, indicators. But both I thought I saw about 5 targetings that were all called off yesterday. Then one more thing, I want to make sure that Jarrett Smith said that, let me read his comments. You guys put too much stock into games where players spend more time on Ferris wheels than on practice field. I would like for him to justify that, because I'm not saying whether the SEC is better or good. I'm asking true or false. So I don't know if he's saying you guys, talking about you and I, or just Alabama fans in general. But the perception, all you have to do, Jared, it doesn't matter what reality is. It doesn't matter what reality is. The perception is because Alabama lost to a down Michigan team that Michigan was 7-5 because they played in the Big Ten. And if they had played in SEC, they would have had more wins. That's already the perception. South Carolina gets beat by Illinois, who was 9-3. Boom. That's the perception. That's the 2 teams that everybody believe. And South Carolina wanted to win that game. I'm not saying I agree with it, but now the perception is that the SEC is not as dominant as it used to be, which goes into people's mind for next year, is the point I was making. So, Jared, you're welcome to call in and respond, respond, and then pull in Joey from Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, as far as the targeting, man, I hate the way that people view the targeting rule, because it's football. There's going to be hard hits. There's going to be hits up here. If you want to take hits up from the shoulder up completely out of the game, make them wear flags and call it a day. Because, I mean, the guy comes up to make a tackle. He can't. Wide receivers, running backs, they all change their body. Like, he's coming in to make a hit. A guy squats or whatever. Boom, helmet to helmet. That guy was not aiming for his head. He was not trying to take his head off. It was the very top of the front of the helmet, face mask down, that hit. And it was a hard hit. That's football. But you could have called it. You didn't call it. I don't care either way. The Bond hit was worse to me. But we've got Joey in on the Empowerment Strategy Solution Hotline. How you doing, Joey?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Something came to my head but it wasn't the reason I called. I thought I'd let you know. For those Milrose supporters, he made the record book, I believe. Definitely at Alabama. 4 touches, 3 fumbles, and lost yardage. That ought to be a record book in the record. Maybe an NCAA record.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think he fumbled that pass that they called the fumble? Or did he see a fumble?
I thought it was a fumble.
I didn't think it was a fumble. But who is that, on Milroe or the guy who whiffed on the block?
Milrose got to look. He hadn't looked all year. He's had
Joey,
time.
how can he look at a guy coming behind him because our 270-pound tight end got his butt whooped on the play?
But anyway, that's
all I can tell you is look at the stat. He turned over the ball 3 times when he touched it 4. The one he didn't,
yes, Joey, we're not denying that. Joey, calm down. Joey, calm down. We're not denying
no calming
that.
down, and the coach kept him in there.
Hold on.
We're not.
Joey, and answer the question. Why do you? And that's one of my biggest questions, Joey. I told you I'm not going to defend Milroe. I'm just going to ask questions, and that would be the question I would ask. I didn't think it was a fumble when they went back. I thought he had it in his hands when he came forward. But here's the point. Why didn't they make a change?
That's one thing I wanted to get to. But I wanted to ask you, Martin, someone that I was talking, we were watching, and they said, oh, they'll make adjustments at halftime. I said, why do you think that? I said, DeBoer's made 0 adjustments all year. I said, what you saw in the second quarter is what you're going to see in the third and fourth. They never make adjustments.
Agree.
I mean, you tell me if they made adjustments. Maybe they switched water bottles.
I don't know.
But
All
it
right,
was not
so
much.
Joey, if the coaches don't make adjustments and the tackles continue to get beat and blown off the ball, how is this all on number 4's shoulders?
I did not say it was all on number 4.
Right.
I said it's the coaches. I
Yeah,
said that Milroe made a record book by turning it over 3 times in 4 touches.
yeah. Hey, listen, Joey, I was right there with you. Hey, listen, that was as bad a performance as I've seen. Regardless of the only thing I tell everybody is he that was as bad a performance as I've seen potentially ever, but definitely a long time. But I also would tell you that offensive line has zero chance to block anybody, and that's the scary part is that offensive line for 3 years running has not been able to pass block. It was bad. Bryce,
4 years.
at least 3 years, maybe 4. Bryce Young was just so good, Joey, that he would have got away from that because he was an elite quarterback, above where Jalen is and was. But this O-line has not been able to run block or pass block, and this is the first year. This is a trend. This is a
You're
trend.
right.
Yeah. And
You're
these
right.
are guys that Saban recruited, and I don't know if we're caught in between, or I don't know what.
Our best offensive lineman this year was a Washington transfer.
Yeah.
That was supposedly Michigan's second team.
and our 5-star left tackle got his butt whooped until he pulled himself.
They said, Joey, they have 3 defensive linemen.
That'll be first or second. 2 will be first round picks, and 1 will be a second round pick, most likely.
But I was high on DeBoer. But after watching the second half of this season, I saw it. They didn't. It's not that they didn't improve. They went way backwards. They had no coaching.
Well,
they had no coaching.
Joey, and I'll let you go after a yes or no response. Does he have to make some moves in his staff?
Absolutely.
And I think that's what we need to recognize is this is not the best staff that he could have had. It was the best staff that he could get based on the timing and guys already having jobs, Grubb leaving when he left, Huff leaving when he left. He lost a huge part of his offensive philosophy. Thanks, Joey. Yes or no? You said yes, he needs to change? Is Joey gone? All right.
Yeah, he did. He said absolutely. Let me address something real quick. Lloyd Gray says Milroe has no pocket presence whatsoever. You have QBs that make players better, like Jaden Daniels. Then you have players like Milroe who make players look worse, especially the O-line. That is, I'm just going to call it, that's a bad take. That's a bad take. You can look at that first drive and you tell me how his pocket presence got him blown up from both tackle spots. You look at when he steps, the sack with the fumble where we were just talking about, he steps up. There's nowhere to go, but the guy comes around the backside, and as he's trying to throw it, guy gets his hand on his wrist. That's just certain. Now, once again, Jalen played bad. He played horrible. But we need to stop trying to make this all him. Alabama's offensive line has been bad, honestly, for 4 years.
And X, and we have to get the break here, and I agree that it's not all Jalen's pocket presence, but it is some of it because some of it is his pocket presence because I just made the point that Bryce Young made the offensive line look better. He saved a lot of sacks.
And he still got sacked 30-plus times.
I know. That's what I'm saying is if Bryce, that's my point. Bryce still got sacked 30-something times, but it would have been in the 40s and maybe 50s if he didn't have the elite pocket presence. So the pocket presence, I'll give Gray that. It does have something to do with it, but he didn't make them look worse. They both made each other look bad. I'll give it to both of them. And a couple guys mentioned in the cleats thing. On the first drive, I looked at Simeon, my son, and said, dude, they need to change cleats. I said Michigan is not slipping and sliding.
Said it after the first time they slid.
I mean, we started slipping as soon as it started raining, and they didn't slip at all. So that was even on the equipment guy. We'll be back on the other side. Got a couple callers. We'll rapid fire you guys. I know there's a lot to talk about, lots to get to, and we got all off season, unfortunately, to talk about it. We'll be here with you. You stay tuned. We'll be back on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Good morning to you. January 2 on 2025. We're looking good across the area. Still very quiet outside right now as you're dealing with minimal delays. As a matter of fact, not really dealing with any delays whatsoever. Taking a look at Skyland Boulevard, it's all groovy. And between 2059 and 359, you're traveling at posted speed. Moving on, Lurleen Wallace at McFarland Boulevard. Traffic is smooth. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by KFC. 'Tis the season to fill your table and feed the whole family with KFC's festive feast. Get 6 original recipe tenders, 6 pieces of classic fried chicken, 2 sides, and 3 sauces for just $25.99.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value under the biggest cactus in town. They've been doing it the right way each and every day for 50 years and counting. If you're looking for a great option for lunch and or dinner, then you need to check out Taco Casa. Taco Casa, and while you're there, don't forget to get a big glass of that sweet tea. Visit them online at tacocasa.com. That's tacocasa.com. Quality, taste, and value on the biggest cactus in town. That's Taco Casa, tacocasa.com.
Are you receiving unemployment? Your benefits could be at risk. Here's how you can protect yourself and your benefits. Never respond to mail notifying you of a false claim in your name. Never answer a text message asking you to verify your account. And only respond to official Alabama Department of Labor's social media pages. Report fraud at labor.alabama.gov/fraud. Brought to you by the Alabama Department of Labor, ABA, and the station. The Alabama Department of Labor is an equal opportunity employer program. Auxiliary aids and services available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Dial 711 for TTY accessibility.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-383-7733. That's 800-383-7733. 800-383-7733.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports Xavier Houston.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. Lots of crazy takes and things happening in college football, and we got all off season to talk about it. We are going to talk about the Georgia Notre Dame game, but we're going to rapid fire 3 callers here. They'll give you about 60 seconds apiece. Sorry about that, guys. But Ragged Glory, you in on the empowerment strategies, and solutions hotline. What's on your mind?
Good morning and Happy New Year, y'all. It's good to have you back. All I got to say is, how does your brain salad taste?
You talking about trying to keep up with all this stuff?
Man, I'm telling you, well,
I had a point to make, and the next thing you know, after hearing all the callers, I got the second helping of salad, and I'm like, okay, what was my original point? Here it goes. Where's the dressing? The point is, I want to go back to the committee who did not allow Alabama to come in. Okay? Well, we proved as a team we really didn't deserve to be in. And a team from the coaches on down through every player that's getting paid to do a job, we're only as strong as our weakest link. Where was the weakest link? It broke several places.
We had several weeks.
It's not Jalen Milroe's fault. I'll defend him. If I come to the round table, I'm going to fire an OC. But I can't. Because this was a first year with a new staff. Like Jesus Christ does and gives us chances.
I got 2 more callers. I apologize. I'm rushing you, but kind of try to wrap it up and call us back. We're going to be talking about it again tomorrow. But go ahead with finishing thoughts. Did he leave? Did Rugged leave? All right. Rugged, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Pat, you're in rapid fire, sir.
Yeah, got you. Hey, whoever Jalen Milroe's mentor is, ought to have his butt kicked. Whoever his agent is, ought to have his butt kicked. Because whoever told Jalen Milroe to play in that game was stupid. Jalen Milroe lost at least $5 million. He's probably still going to be drafted because this is a terrible, terrible year for quarterbacks. And I wish him a lot of luck. But whoever told him to play in that game was dumb. But because if Milroe hadn't played in that game, he would have definitely still gone in the first or second round. No,
he still may, Pat.
He's not agree with that.
I don't think it helped him at all. I think it potentially hurt him. But the NFL is so arrogant with their coaches, Pat. They believe that it's poor coaching. A lot of times when we see guys struggle, they think that it's because college coaches are inferior to them. Jalen will test well, and because of his testing, he's better than Anthony Richardson was. And look where Anthony Richardson went. I don't think he'll be a top 5 pick, but don't underestimate his skill set and talent. When I say skill set, I'm talking about his ability to run, deep ball, and legs. And it may be one of these where they take him and some team draft him that doesn't necessarily need a quarterback this year. I don't know that. I felt better before Tuesday. Thanks, Pat. We got to go. All right. George from Macon, you get to close it out, man. Is George from Macon still there?
He is not.
Okay. All right, X, closing thoughts.
Hey, look, Tuesday was a horrible day to be an Alabama fan. Point blank period. But this was year one. I'm not going to give up on the coach year one. Maybe there are some changes that need to be made. Maybe, changes with some players, philosophies, things of that nature. But I think Alabama will be able to right the ship moving forward, a full offseason, getting more of his players in, and I think you'll see things take a positive spin moving forward for Alabama.
Georgia or Notre Dame?
I'm taking Georgia.
I'm taking Georgia.
I believe I said that. There you go, blind squirrel.
I think I'm taking Georgia, G-Dogs, and I think that they will take care of business because of their defense. I'm really pulling for Gunner, the quarterback. I know some stuff that just makes me want to pull for this guy. Hopefully he takes his team to the college football playoffs. In an all-SEC, all Big Ten showdown, we'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll also talk about why Ty Simpson didn't get in when Jalen played as bad as he did. It's a lot to talk about. We'll keep it going right here. Remember this, trust in the Lord always, and not young, understand all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. I'm Martin Houston. That's David Houston. That's Chase Brumfield. Thanks to all the callers, listeners, viewers, and chatters. Roll Tide, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Thursday morning. University of Alabama freshman Kareem Badawi is being remembered as a good kid. He was one of 15 people killed in yesterday morning's terror attack in New Orleans' French Quarter. Badawi was a member of the Sigma Chi fraternity on the UA campus and had gone to New Orleans to celebrate the new year with a high school friend. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news, sports, and weather coverage all throughout the day. It's absolutely free. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. From the Fox Sports